Meteorologist Mike Griffith for East Coast Weather Association with your May Landscaping Services forecast for Friday. And we're going to also cover Saturday and Sunday and maybe even the next 7 days here as we're seeing a large-scale storm system with a swirl in the clouds right here. This is the upper level low right over Mississippi and Alabama. And this is a plume of moisture coming up out of the Gulf of Mexico and even Mexico itself as this cold air will start to filter up into the eastern part of the United States, moisture streaming up over top of the colder air, I should say, rather, and will cause a lot of showers across the East Coast, lots of steadier rain. There have been some thunderstorms across South Carolina. There were some tornado warnings here earlier east of Columbia, but I'm not sure if anything even touched down. And we're looking at the possibility of some more showers and thunderstorms all up into Pennsylvania and even along the East Coast as we go into the nighttime hours. I'm not thinking that they're going to reach severe limits. Only time that they could possibly reach severe limits is if the sun comes out on Friday and Saturday and even Sunday, if it does. If it does not, and you stay cloudy, then I do not expect you to have any types of thunderstorms. Gusty winds also with this big upper level disturbance system here across the East Coast, and lots of rain and unsettled weather continuing through this weekend. Let's show you what I'm talking about here as I show you the big picture model discussion, the GFS. This is the big upper level disturbance here. This is the jet stream, and this is the amount of energy, storminess in the atmosphere, that the amount of energy that provides the storminess here in the atmosphere. And this area of energy just kind of sits over the southeast coast and just sits here and spins as we go into Friday, and it's going to drop a lot of moisture across the whole northeast and east coast, and then it's going to start to get really chilly here as we go into the weekend on Saturday. In fact, we're looking into Sunday and even into Monday here. It's going to be cold enough to snow. This is going to be some snow up here in Buffalo and even up into Pennsylvania here, as it's cold enough the snow line drops all the way down into northern Virginia and even down into Kentucky as we go into the day on Sunday. And looking out here in the Pacific Southwest, it looks like there's going to be a big disturbance that moves onshore. San Diego, Los Angeles, there's going to be a lot of rain out here, mudslides likely. It's going to put a damper on the fire situation, so that's good. And they could use the water out here as this system is going to move into the Four Corners as we go into Monday of next week. And then this system kind of just sits here and chills out. Not a whole lot going on Florida down here as we go into early next week. It looks like they're going to remain nice and sunny and good beach days there for the most part, other than your normal afternoon showers and thunderstorms. But this model is not liking to put out a lot of storms for Florida down there. Nothing in the lot of the way of rain for the next coming 4 or 5 days or so. Looking into Tuesday here, this cutoff low just kind of sits around here in the northeast and sits and spins. Low clouds, cool, cold, even snow showers up into interior New England and even into New York State and northern Pennsylvania possible to see some flurries, especially in the mountains here of northern Pennsylvania. And that's as we go into Tuesday of next week. And then as we looking into Wednesday, and then Thursday next week, another disturbance pushes into the plains here, remaining stormy and chilly here in the East Coast, rainy, cool. And we talked about this maybe a week ago, saying that this spring, at least, is going to be cool and wet in the East Coast. Definitely cooler than average here as we go into the Northeast. And also across the central part of the plains, it's going to get a lot more rain and a lot more flooding out there as this disturbance kind of just sits there and spins out in the central part of the plains. Looking at the radar right now, currently on Thursday night across the southeast, some random lines of showers and thunderstorms. Some of these could be strong, and they could have a random thunderstorm that could go severe in this line as it moves up into Columbia and also Charleston overnight tonight, Thursday night into Friday. Another line up here in Alabama, which could eventually swing into Atlanta and even the Western Carolinas. Other than that, it's just going to be a lot of heavy rain and maybe a lightning bolt or two during the nighttime, and lots of rain with some embedded thunder. Other than that, nothing on the large scale side of anything too significant. Looking at the Weather Prediction Center, or WPC's Precipitation outlook over the next 3 days or so through 8 p.m. Sunday. Looking like the heaviest rain going to be here in eastern Carolina and also Asheville and the western Carolina. However, the whole state of North Carolina and South Carolina are not going to be able to escape anywhere from an inch to an inch and a quarter of rain, maybe up to 2 inches or 2 inches plus here in the mountains. Lots of flooding. It's going to be a very damp weekend here. Also down in Charleston, the beaches, very rainy up here in South Carolina. Now, down in Miami, there could be some thunderstorms here, but we're looking into Tampa, and it's looking like there's going to be some heavier rains here in the western side of Florida, maybe Naples area here along the Gulf side as we go into Sunday. The dry stuff we were looking at is into next week as this whole system kind of lifts out and moves away. But looking at this weekend, it's going to be wet down here for most of the state of Florida, including western Florida, especially in the Naples area here. Miami, not really escaping a whole lot in the way of rain with the showers and thunderstorms this weekend, especially with this whole system swinging a front down here. And it looks like the heaviest rain is going to be up here in West Virginia, western Pennsylvania, and Maine is going to get clobbered with almost 4 inches of snow. 4 inches of rain and maybe some snow mixed in with that amount as well. Maybe even upwards of 5 inches, around almost 2 3/4 inches of rain here in eastern Massachusetts. So the whole story is just going to be wet and chilly and some wind gusts here across much of the East Coast, including even down to Florida. Not so much chilly down there, but more like unsettled with daily thunderstorms that just drop rain and lots of it. So that's the story right now for the East Coast. I am East Coast Weather Association meteorologist Mike Griffith. We'll be talking at you soon with the next forecast, and stay dry, everybody.